of Edgar Allan Poe, Henry James and Haruki Murakami. Her fourth book, Mr. Fox, has just been translated into French. It's a unique love story that centres on an American writer who has a penchant for murdering his heroines. Now, before we talk about it, Helen, you're going to read us a small extract.
I am, just a little bit. Dr. Listercrew. Dr. Listercrew's wife was not particularly talkative, but he beheaded her anyway, thinking to himself that he could replace her head when he wished for her to speak. How long had the doc been crazy? I don't know. Quite some time, I guess. Don't worry, he was only a general practitioner.
Okay, well, there we get an idea. At the heart of this novel is this kind of myth of Bluebeard, who killed all his wives. Would you describe it, though, as a slight feminist retelling of the tale?
I think it has feminist preoccupations. I kind of struggle because there's this thing called the Bechdel test, created by Alison Bechdel, she's a comic artist, and she says that there are three things that she requires from a film: that there be more than one woman in it, that the women have names, that they talk to each other, and that what they talk to each other about is not a man. And I think that it's kind of problematic because there are two women, two main characters in the book, but they only talk about Mr. Fox. But other than that, I'd say it's a feminist retelling.
Describe the book, because it's really like nothing I've ever read before. It's better if it comes from you, probably.
Well, it begins with an American writer, Mr. Fox, writing in a study. His muse confronts him because she's tired of the way that he kills off all the heroines in his stories. And she tries to teach him a lesson about what stories mean and how they affect real life, I suppose, how they affect our thinking and our logic. And so she takes him into 9 different stories where they play different roles, and sometimes she is him and sometimes he's her, and everything is topsy-turvy. And yeah, she tries to change him.
It has a fairy tale quality to it, but kind of a perverse type one. What were your favourite books to read when you were little? Were you a fan of fairy tales?
Not so much, actually. I feel as if fairy tales are very adult, just because they have so much meaning, and it's possible to get lost in the layers of meaning and in the signs and in the symbols. I like stories about sort of plucky, reckless girls going out into the world. So like Anne of Green Gables, Little Women. I even liked Pollyanna, which I now have reservations about. But at the time, I just liked girls who made things happen.
And I was reading, I don't know whether this is true, but when you were finishing, you experimented by taking a 5-day vow of silence to try and bring out your creativity. Oh, it's not. It wasn't. It's something that I just do like twice a year. I just take vows of silence, and it's kind of like a holiday from talking. Tell us a bit more about it. Why?
I think I seek more and more economy in speech, in what I write, in the way that I think, even. And I think that just the less said, the better in general. Seems to be my policy.
So interviews aren't your favourite thing to do, are they?
I always feel as if I've said something wrong, like after an interview. So.
Not at all. Now, tell us, like, you've lived in London, in Prague, in Berlin, in Budapest. Mm-hmm. You're sort of searching for your place in the world. Where are you now, and have you found it?
I'm in Prague, and Prague is weird enough for me. Like, it's just weird enough. It's just the only way that I can explain it. So, fingers crossed.
And are you working on a new book there?
Yes.
Can you tell us anything about it?
It's another fairy tale remix.
And when can we expect to see it?
In the UK, early next year, sort of March-ish.
Okay. Helen, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And a reminder for you guys that Mr. Fox has just been translated into French.